All right, guys. So today's topic is going to be a very good one. Okay. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you go into the shop, hit up the super rated rookie shirt in the shop. Discount is in the community, so go hit one up, man. It's a beautiful shirt, super rated rookie. And today we're going to talk about the one and only Trevon Diggs. Is it serious? Count on time. Boom! Right. So it's contract season, man. Right. On top of hype season, on top of best shape of my life season, besides Jordan versus LeBron season, it is project the contract season. All right, so this is what we're doing this time of year, and this is a very important piece of the Cowboys moving forward. And we're talking about the one and only Trevon Diggs, starting cornerback for the Cowboys, CB1.
Motherfuckers out, motherfucker there, motherfucker. All right.
You got this. You got the one-offs. I don't know where this narrative came from, but somebody was pushing it that Trevon was not a number one. He's not that good. Maybe they can let him go. Maybe they won't re-sign him. This and that. It's a very stupid thinking. I don't get it, but we will take a look at all sides. Okay, we will take a look at all sides here, as far as how are the Cowboys going to handle the Trevon Diggs contract. Okay. Let's take a look at inside the numbers here. Trevon Diggs. Okay, so take a look at this. All right, so as you know, Trevon Diggs drafted in 2020. Can you believe it's already been that many years? All right, seems like just yesterday. Drafted by Mike McCarthy, obviously. 6'1", 204. He runs a 4.42. Through 3 seasons, he's had 17 interceptions. All right, pretty phenomenal. He had that one season in 2021 with the record, tying Everson Walls for 11 interceptions in a season. Outstanding. First team All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler, NFL interceptions leader 2021. When you start talking about the contract, you look at all the sources. I looked at the over the cap market value, has him at $15.5 million. This is a very, very low base opening number for when you're looking at over the cap, because what they do is they take a look at some of the high end contracts sprinkled in with some of the low end contracts, and that's how they come up with this number. So whenever you're looking at the number and you're looking at over the cap, oh well, he's gonna get this. That's just a very, very baseline, and probably honestly below average baseline when you're looking at over the cap, when you're looking at their market value numbers. I never really go by them, but I am including it here for reference. For 2024, the cornerback projected tag is going to be about $20 million. So if the Cowboys don't come up with a contract this season, there is that option to tag him, but it will be a whopping $20 million. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the contracts here around the league, okay? When you're talking about, when you're looking at the contracts around the league, you're going to take a look at who's getting paid right now, who's gotten paid here recently, and how much are these guys getting, and where do they compare as far as Trevon Diggs, excuse me. So take a look at this. Like I said, Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, Marlon Humphrey, Xavier Howard, Jahari Alexander, J.C. Jackson, Tre'Davious White, and Jalen motherfucking Ramsey, motherfucker. He makes the top 8 here. All right. You could go top 10 and break it down by top 10, but I'm looking at top 8 because these are like your elite type of cornerbacks. These are CB1s. These are playmakers. They impact the defense. They impact the secondary. They get the ball, and I feel like this is where Trevon Diggs is at. He's that guy, He'll deflect the ball. He'll snatch the ball. I think he's a well-rounded cornerback. You know, he'll go in there and make the tackle. You know, um, he's not perfect by any means, and neither are any of these other cornerbacks. Right? Oh, what about the San Francisco game where he pulled up and didn't knock the ball out of Kettle's, whatever the fuck that dude? I mean, yeah, that was a key play, and I'm sure that was a big learning, situation for Trevon Diggs. That won't happen again. I guarantee you. Trevon is one of these cornerbacks that he learns from the previous play, and he fixes it on the next one. He doesn't let these plays get to his head. So mentally strong as well. So you look at the top here of the league here. Jalen Ramsey. I mean, for me, I mean, I feel very confident saying Trevon Diggs is as good or better than most of these guys here. Okay. If you look at the length of the contracts, you're looking at, probably a 5-year, 4-year at the very minimum. Um, for Trevon, he's going to be 25 in September. Okay. So for the Cowboys, they're probably looking at, we probably want to give you a 5-year deal. And so he's he's young enough to get that second contract. You know what I mean? That 25-year-old range. I think a little bit older, and they'll probably look at a smaller, range of years for contract. But I think the Cowboys, my projection is going to be 5 years, anywhere from $22 to $25 million annually. Okay. Well, they're not going to pay him that much and this and that. The little twats out there. There's always the complainers that they're like, oh, he's not worth that and this and that. They said every year when they talk about contracts, whether it's whoever the hell it is, that's not what they're going to pay him. Now, you have to keep in mind that every year the cap goes up, money goes up, the revenue goes up around the league. What is the big contract now will not be the big contract, the following season. It happens every year. I mean, Dak was the highest paid quarterback just a few seasons ago. Now he's already been bumped down to the bottom 10 or whatever it is. I mean, this is just how it is. To think that Trevon Diggs is gonna go, anything lower than 20 million, it's a pipe dream. And I think this is where it's gonna get interesting for the Cowboys. Okay, so this is why we're having the conversation. So for the Cowboys, how do you get that deal done? Do they go the Byron Jones route and just tag him and then let him ride off? Cowboys have been known to really not re-sign these guys. I do think that Trevon Diggs is a lot better than Byron Jones, however. At cornerback, way better, man. Way better. Way better player. So, I would re-sign him. Now, how do you get there, right? So, drafted the same year as CeeDee Lamb, right? So, we're going to sign CeeDee Lamb first. He was the first round pick. And little complaining ass motherfuckers out there. I mean, calm down. All right? The reason why I think that, if anything, Trevon might get a deal first is because there's no 5-year option for him. So, this is his final season, all right? And then he'll be a free agent in 2024. So, because of where he got drafted, Cowboys have to move a little bit faster on this. Okay, for CeeDee Lamb, they already exercised his 5th-year option, so they have him guaranteed through that 5th year, and then they can tag him, and then he'll be here for a while. They may do what they did with Dez Bryant there. They may tag him. We'll see what they do, but I think the Cowboys, they need to think differently, outside the box, okay, on how they're going to start handling contracts, okay? And what I'm saying here, all right, and don't get your little G-strings and thongs all up in the bottom, because there's always going to be a little complaining-ass little bitch-ass in the comments, okay? If the Cowboys do not want to re-sign him, or they don't see a future with him, if the phone rings during the trade deadline, get the picks, man. All right, stop being a stupid fucking team and letting these guys just roll off the roster without anything. I'm sick and tired of the Cowboys just letting players walk off without getting anything of any kind of value. Even when they trade players. I mean, with the Amari Cooper, they bumbled the shit out of that. That was a black eye to the front office. It still pisses me off to this day. But if the Cowboys don't see Trevon Diggs as somebody in the long-term plans, do what the Patriots do. Do what the 49ers do. Flip the motherfucker and get some premium picks. Somebody will give a first-round pick for Trevon Diggs in the 2023 trade deadline. And I am not endorsing this, but I'm saying if the Cowboys do not plan on extending him, if they don't plan on having him here long term, be smart, get some damn picks, and also, where are the Cowboys going to be at during the trade deadline? Are we going to be in the thick of it? This and that. Ultimately, I don't think that will happen. I'm just bringing that up as a scenario, as if they have no plans on keeping him, get some fucking picks for him, okay? Now, the realistic part of this is they're probably going to re-sign him, right? I want to re-sign him, just to be clear, just so some people here don't get my words twisted. I do want to re-sign Trevon Diggs. All right. I think finding quarterbacks in this league, it's a very tough thing. We see these guys bust out very, very often in this league. So for me, re-signing him. For the Cowboys, the big hurdle is the Dak Prescott contract. To start signing these guys, when is that redo of Dak Prescott's contract going to happen? Is that in their plans? This is going to be very interesting to see what the Cowboys do. Do they touch Dak Prescott's contract? The money's got to come from somewhere. So you can have Diggs next year if you do the tag, but you're gonna have to jumble around some money next year to make that possible. But after that, these contracts are gonna start coming in fast and furious. You're gonna have CeeDee Lamb the following season. You're gonna have Micah Parsons the following season. You're gonna have your interior. You're gonna have Osa coming up, and you're gonna have you still got Terrence Steele to deal. You got to re-sign Terrence Steele, man. That offensive line, they cannot keep with jumbling the players around. So the money's got to be coming up from somewhere. And Cowboys, they like to re-sign their own. So that's where I'm at on this, guys. I think ultimately the Cowboys will re-sign him, but we're looking at a pretty significant number here. My projection is $22 to $25 million annually. That's per year, okay? That'll put him at the top of the chain here, and deservedly so. And that's the kind of money that number one cornerbacks get. All right, and then the next season he'll be passed up by somebody else. You know what I mean? So he'll be at the top, but eventually his number will get leapfrogged from younger players, and that's just how it goes. But he's not gonna go. He's not gonna sign for cheap. So how will the Cowboys handle the contract? That's going to be the interesting part here. And the intriguing part for me is keep an eye on what they do with the Dak Prescott contract, because if they want to get this deal done, if they want to sign him to a long-term deal, that is probably the main contract where you're going to get some money to play with. This is the biggest one on the ledger right now is the Dak Prescott contract, Now, if they decide not to touch that, that's a little bit of a telltale sign that the Cowboys have a different plan in place for Trevon and possibly for Dak Prescott's future as well. So the dominoes are going to start falling here very quickly. The clues, the breadcrumbs, they're going to start falling here pretty quickly as far as like how this roster is going to look for the future. But you have really good stars in place here. Like I said, this is Mike McCarthy's first year, 2020. One of the premier picks under Mike McCarthy. You want to re-sign him, and you're going to want to re-sign CeeDee Lamb. Okay. Terrence Steele is in there as well. So lots of good players here early on from Mike McCarthy's draft class. And they're coming up, man. Fast and furious. Guys, let me know what you guys think. What do you think the Cowboys are going to do with Trevon Diggs? Is he going to be a long-term extension here? Is he going to be a franchise tag kind of guy and let him walk, or do they somehow get some kind of draft trade and get some picks for him? Like what is your gut feeling here? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.